So here's the deal. Companies are pouring billions upon billions of dollars into artificial intelligence, promising this huge revolution in efficiency. But there's a massive problem. Despite all that cash being spent, the big productivity gains we were all promised, they're just not showing up. This is the great AI divide, and we're going to dig into what's really going on. I mean, just listen to any CEO on an earnings call these days, and you'll hear the hype. They're throwing around these huge phrases like a Cambrian explosion of innovation to describe what AI is doing. It really paints a picture of a business world being totally remade, a brand new era of productivity. And this isn't just talk. They are backing it up with some serious cash. We are talking hundreds of billions of dollars flooding into AI for the workplace. It's one of the biggest investment waves we've seen in a long, long time, which really makes you wonder, with all this money being spent, where are the results? Okay, so first, let's just try to get our heads around the sheer scale of this investment frenzy. It's happening at a breathtaking speed, it's touching nearly every industry, and believe it or not, it's already reshaping our economy. This data right here tells such a wild story. On the one hand, AI is already responsible for 40% of US GDP growth this year, and 3/4 of all businesses are already using it. But then you look at this last bar. A tiny, tiny 1% of CEOs actually have a real strategy in place. That is a massive disconnect between throwing money at something and having a real plan. And that disconnect, that chasm between the investment and the strategy, it brings us right to the heart of the problem, the huge gap between all the AI hype and what's actually happening on the ground. So the Financial Times actually dug into this. They analyzed S&P 500 companies and found this exact pattern. Publicly, the message is all sunshine and rainbows. Take a company like Coca-Cola, who just raved in their earnings reports about how they're using generative AI to completely transform their business. But here's the twist. The FT also looked at the legal filings from these same companies. So while the public earnings calls are full of hype, incredible productivity gains, the legal filings, where they have to be honest about risks, tell a totally different story. Things like risks outweigh benefits, and offering no concrete examples of how they're even using it. And then you get the punchline. This comes from an MIT Media Lab study. A staggering 95% of generative AI pilot programs inside of companies fail. They don't even make it past the trial stage to a full company rollout. 95%, it's unbelievable. So what you end up with is this kind of two-speed adoption. In the fast lane, you've got big tech companies where AI agents are literally being treated like new coworkers. But in the slow lane, you have pretty much everyone else just struggling to get their employees to even use basic tools like ChatGPT. No real productivity gains in sight. So let's be super clear here. This is not a technology problem. The tech itself is incredibly powerful. The real issue is something that experts are calling the capability gap. And this gap, this is the true reason for the disconnect between all the hype and the reality. And this analogy from Ewan Blair, the CEO of Multiverse, it is absolutely perfect. He says most companies using AI today are like someone who buys an iPhone and then only uses it to make calls and send texts. They've got this unbelievably powerful tool in their hands, but they're ignoring almost everything it can actually do. So if the tech is so powerful, what exactly is being missed here? What's going wrong? It all comes back to this, the capability gap. See, it's not about the software, it's about the people. It's the huge divide between a tool's potential and a company's ability to actually put it to work. A gap that comes down to a lack of strategy, skills, and training. But here's the good news. This gap isn't permanent. It's fixable. Now that we understand the problem, we can actually talk about the solution, how to close this AI divide and finally unlock all that amazing potential. Experts are pointing to a really clear 3-step playbook. And I want you to notice something. It's not about buying more tech. It's about changing how people work with the tech they already have. And that comes down to personalization, training, and leadership. Okay, so let's start with step 1, personalization. Amanda Brophy from Grow with Google just nails it. She says a generic one-size-fits-all rollout is pretty much doomed to fail. To win people over, especially the skeptics, you have to show them how AI solves their specific problems. A marketer needs something totally different than a customer service agent does. It has to feel personal. Next up is training, and this can't be an afterthought. You absolutely need both the tech
and the training for it to work. And we're not talking about a one-day workshop here. Using AI well is a habit, and it's built through daily practice, especially when it comes to learning that really crucial skill of writing effective prompts.
And finally, leadership has to set the example. They have to walk the walk. As Cisco's Sarah Walker puts it so well, my team will never adopt those platforms if I'm not using it myself, right? When leaders actually use the tools, it sends a powerful signal that this is a real priority, not just another passing fad. So, as we start to wrap this up, it really helps to take a step back and get some perspective. This moment of incredible hype, confusion, and massive potential, it feels brand new, but believe it or not, we've kind of been here before. I want you to think back to the mid-1990s and the beginning of the internet. There was a very similar mix of incredible excitement, massive investment, and a whole lot of companies that had absolutely no idea how to actually use this new technology. We are in a very similar, very messy, very early stage with generative AI right now. So the key takeaway here is this. We are in the messy, early days. We need to be patient. There is absolutely more boom and bust to come. And the ultimate winners? They won't be the companies that just throw money at the problem. They'll be the ones that invest in building up an AI-skilled workforce. And look, this isn't just a story about corporations and technology. This transformation is going to affect all of us in our jobs and our careers. The future of AI at work is still being written, and that leaves all of us with one final, really important question to think about. What role are you going to play in writing it?